What's up, guys? It is Will here, back again for another episode of Lights, Camera, Keco Optical Collects. We are here every Friday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:34 p.m. Eastern on this Friday, March the 3rd, 2023. Guys, we have a great slate of topics and an Avengers level panel per usual on this show. We're going to talk about the Ahsoka release from The Mandalorian. Is it good? Is it a miss? Is it a hit? We're going to talk about it. Could get spicy. Revisiting the Hot Toys N1, because I got to talk to Keco about this. We need to address this, and I want to hear Optical's thoughts. He's got to be the neutral third party on this one. And the most underrated hot toy in your collection. We'll talk about Paz Vizsla, of course, because Mando season 3 aired. I really loved it. Hopefully everyone else got to watch it. Low stock Loki. We're going to talk about that. Collectors preventing burnout and some other stuff. That said, guys, thank you so much for joining us this fine Friday evening. Let's address this panel before we address the chat. Optical, Mr. Optical 20. How you doing?
Fantastic. I was looking around because you just mentioned that. I was like, I know you sent me the show sheet, but I was just like, I wasn't prepared for that.
You were prepared for all these topics.
And then I looked around, I was just like, oh yeah,
you'll be fine.
Answer that question now. But
that's
no,
technically why I was late, because I knew we were going to be doing a show and tell, so I was having to pick out what I wanted to bring. And obviously, right. I brought a joke with me as well, so we're getting ready for that. And then I brought the real thing. So
I didn't even pick mine out, so it's fine. So, yeah,
good.
And I'm hosting this show. Yeah.
No,
so
awesome,
you'll be
man.
fine.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for joining. Like I said, Optical, it'll be fun either way. And like I said, when we get to that topic, we'll go to Keco first because he's prepared. He did his homework. The rest of us did not. So, Keco, happy to have you, bro. Keco, you're the traffic cone, human traffic cone this evening. How you doing this Friday evening, bro?
I am great. So good to be here with you. And as I said, this is the second week in a row that I've done your homework for you. And I feel like I'm a good student. I've done what I've been told to do. And this is pretty exciting. So, of course, as I mentioned, I do have to mix in a joke in there. So if anybody, because one of the topics we're going to be talking about involves some of our favorite hot toys. Go figure. That's what this show is kind of all about. So there is a joke in there. So if anybody can guess it in the comments, let me know, because I'm going to be showing one of my most underrated figures. If you know what it is, let me know now, and we'll see if you win.
Oh, okay, guys. We'll drop it in the chat what you think Keco's most underrated Hot Toys figure is, because we are going to talk about that. And it's going to be pretty exciting. That said, let's address the chat real quick before we jump to our first topic. Mr. Keco Collects with the first comment. I'll release my next video if I get to 5,300. Let's get Keco to 5,300, guys. We're going to get him there. De Gambino. Sorry. Hello, everyone who came in to this second to chat. Absolutely. Lane Kramer, third. Good to see you, Lane. Ladies, ma'am. 30. Just want to know how many Hot Toy N1s Keco is going to buy. He's going to buy a lot. He's got a lot of space for that. Connor, let's go, Connor. I know. Hold my balls, yo. Sean Breeze Collectibles, the man himself. Sean Breeze Collectibles. Caleb Miller, Charles Rubel. Good to see you, Charles. King Killer Collectible Chats. Collector Joey on his commute back home. Alien Queen is here, as always, representing the 4%. The viewership female has actually gone down recently, so it's more about 3% now. So.
What a shocker.
Yeah, I know, Optical. I know. I gotta produce more content that's gonna draw the female viewership in. I don't know how to do it. Connor said, "Let's go, brother." I know we're a little bit late. Riley Reviews, channel member. What's up, Riley? Good to see you, bro. Fig Fake, good to see you, channel member as well. Daryl Carter, looking forward to the show. Thanks so much, Daryl. Happy to have you here. King Killer said there won't be any spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers for Mando. We're not even really gonna talk about other than the N1, so it'll be fine. Army of Hades, good to see Army of Hades. Joker J, Thalia Meyer, Andy H. Cthulhu Danny, and that one was a little bit of a tongue twister, but I got there. Better not be Gizmo. I know if Keco pulls out Gizmo, bro, it's gonna be the end of this show. AJ Agarusa, channel member. What's up, AJ? Good to have you, bro. Skillmonger, Keco Collects is here, of course. Benny Gregerson, Marco Polo, Ash Chase. Ash, hope you're doing well, bro. I know about the ACL. He tore his ACL Optical, so hopefully Ash is doing all right. So Ash, good to hear from you, bro. Guys, let's address our first topic of this fine evening. Let's address the Hot Toys Ahsoka. This is the hot news off the press. This is the release that everyone has mostly been going pretty crazy about overall, because this body looks great. I will say that this is the one thing that unites collectors, like Ahsoka's figure body looks
Ahsoka's
great.
Silicone body? That's weird.
Yes, Ahsoka's silicone body is well done. Let's just not say it looks great. It's well done. It's manufactured and produced well, and the tailoring looks great. The head sculpt is a little bit more of the divisiveness. That's where the divisiveness comes in. Most people don't hate it. Some people don't love it. Somewhere in between. Optical, I want to start with you. I don't think I got to watch your preview video yet for this, but what do you think? Is this a miss or a hit for Hot Toys? Because the head sculpt's pretty much the prototype.
first and foremost, do not say we like her body. And then
We like her body.
Because you looked in the
that's
camera and
super
then you licked her
awkward, yeah.
lips. It's just like,
Oh, was it? Okay. I like to
it's
issue a
like-
public apology. I'm so sorry.
that's what a female viewership has gone down.
They should went straight. Now it's down to 2%. So.
Outside of Lane
Damn.
being here all the time. But yes, I mean, the head sculpt, I think it's fine. Like it's pretty much what the prototype is, in my opinion, right? Like, but even back then, the prototype people were just like, oh, it doesn't look like her. It looks like her. PJ hates it. PJ hates everything anyway.
He does hate it, but he hated it then, to be fair.
He hated it then, so he's pretty
Yeah.
consistent. I like it. You know, there's certain angles when you move the eyes to the right, to the side, and then you kind of tilt her. It kind of looks more like her. Let's just say it's not a 10 out of 10. If I have to score it, I would say maybe like an 8.5. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I like this one better than the cartoon version. I already pre-ordered this. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna get it. But it's okay. It's not Ant-Man. It's not terrible. Now people are all gonna be like, well, this is $300. It shouldn't be just okay. Well, you can have the other option, which is not to buy it either. That's always an option.
That's true.
Yeah.
Big fact.
Or wait for the next one. There's going to be a next one probably in 3-4 years. But for me, like, objectively speaking here, I think it's not terrible. It's also not spot on. So if you weren't happy with the prototype, then you probably wouldn't be happy here. So it's really up to you. But for me, I would still get it. I would get it. I think it's good enough for me for that price point to get it. Like, would it get lower? For sure. What doesn't get lower anyway? But I already pre-ordered it back then, so
Yeah,
it's
that makes
good
sense. I'm mostly with you, Optical, on this one. I would actually go a little bit lower. I might be a little bit harsher of a critic on this one because the prototype originally, Optical, I remember we talked with this about PJ. We talked about it way back. So that shows how long ago this prototype was up for pre-order. Yeah, and at the time, I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's not great. Maybe our standards are too high. But over time, I guess, as we've gotten used to collecting, we've seen what Hot Toys can do. And we've seen even some in-art prototypes and stuff like that and statues, whatever. But I would say this head sculpt is like I don't know. It's like a 7.5 to me. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't think it's terrible, but I look at it and I know Keco's upset, but I look at it and I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. But I really don't like it that much. And I honestly think the Loki's better. I think the Loki's better than this. So, and we're going to see how people feel about that. I'll post a poll. I'm sure most people are probably going to vote for Ahsoka, but I guess we'll find out. Keco, how do you feel about this Ahsoka from Mando? Because this, I mean, as far as like the tailoring and the silicone body, it looks great. So, what do you think about the head sculpt though? Is this a miss or is this a hit for Hot Toys?
So I don't understand where everyone gets off about. Y'all complained about no way on the Clone Wars Ahsoka. No way. That I don't even know who that's supposed to be. No way. Not getting that one. I'm just gonna wait for the Mandalorian version. Okay, well here's your Mandalorian version. So who do you think this is, for one? And if you don't mind, Will, could you do a little thing for me? Could you put up Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka and do a comparison so we can see just
I'm trying to
kind
find
of
a
what
photo.
it's looking like here? Because here's the issue is that it's her. It is. And some people get so distracted because it doesn't look like animated Clone Wars cartoon Ahsoka. That's what people complained about when they first cast Rosario as this character. People haven't been happy with the way she looked ever since then. So this also goes back to last week when we had the pre-order up for all the J&D stuff and the Arwen. And, everyone complained about the prototype. And we got to get past this idea that things they're going to improve upon the sculpt. I know they're going to improve on the sculpt because, like they said, is that we need to stop thinking that it's always going to be an improvement upon release. If you're looking right there, I think that looks pretty good. I mean, granted, the lighting's a little bit different. Why'd you take it away?
Yeah, because, dude, I got to find a better picture of Rosario to compare to this one.
Why? Because it looked too similar? Because you
No, because it looks so bad. It looks
no.
Dude,
that was an art version of her. That wasn't a real picture.
Right.
So I'll
exactly.
Give you that.
It's because the sculpt. Yeah. Okay. I'll pull up a different.
But
I'll pull up
to
a
be fair,
movie still. Or
that's fine.
What's it called?
But what is it that people are so upset about this? And they're like, oh, I'm just going to wait, once again, 4 more years until I get the one with the longer. And that's actually, I think, there you go.
Yeah.
Is that not the same?
That's probably
picture.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty close. But
I mean, there it is. Okay.
There's the Hot Toys right there, right? Or no, maybe that's a
Yeah.
poster. I don't know. I can't tell.
Who
But
knows?
with the
I mean,
hood on, you can't really tell. The body looks great.
That one looks like a Hot Toy.
So,
Would you say,
so
Keco?
what is your issue? Is it in the eyes? It's in the face paint? What is the issue here? So maybe if the people can let us know in the comments, you know, what it looked like. People have been fan casting Rosario as Ahsoka since well before it ever came out. And the thing I like about this is that people complain so much. I can't even pose my Ahsoka because of the elbows. Well, there you go. Look, this is an improvement on that figure. So if this one still doesn't do it for you, then okay, just wait for another 3 years for another one to come out then, because I just don't understand everything is a problem nowadays. And that's getting tiring, you know, to where we're just so disappointed every single time. But at the end of the day, we have to get it out of our heads that there's going to be an improvement on the prototype. Everyone says, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
they're going to refine it. We have to stop that, because I think the Iron Man was the anomaly. That's not going to be the tradition. Those are the rare instances to where you could not mess up an Iron Man figure, especially that Iron Man figure, the 85. So this is good. I'm excited. Mine's going to be here Monday. So what are we upset about? What are we upset about?
I think Keco, I'm looking at the facial features and I'm trying to determine what the issue is. I think the nose is a little bit off to me. And when I'm looking at, I guess it depends on the eye location, the eye, you know, how you're moving the eyeballs. But if it were not for the paint,
Objectively, this is a good figure.
It's a figure, yes. As far as figure, yes. But as far as head sculpts, it's still a good head sculpt. Not saying it's a bad head sculpt, but is it Hot Toys top tier? I'm not so sure about that either. But I guess not every figure needs to be. I do understand that. But
you get a lot of wiggle room with painted faces, if you ask me.
Yeah,
and I think they did the job here.
Like if with makeup and stuff like Pennywise, Joker, Ahsoka, whatever, right? You have that type of luxury where a lot of it's covered, so the likeness doesn't have to be 100%, and it could still look pretty close. I do think this is going to look great on a shelf, though. I don't deny that, because you're not going to be looking at it with like a magnifying glass up close, like you are with blogger pics. You know, you're going to be looking at it from a 5 to 7 feet or more distance, probably. And at that range, it's probably going to look beautiful on your shelf, especially if you pose it like this or something similar. But I just think when I look at the head sculpt, it's okay. It's okay. It's not bad.
You're entitled to that
it's good
opinion,
enough.
Will. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's good enough. But
I want to call out Riley, saying that he didn't like my opinion. He didn't like my opinion last week about Shang-Chi, and now he doesn't like my opinion about this. Are we done? Am I washed up? Are my opinions no longer valid? Riley, what is happening?
Yeah,
I will not be joining Riley's rebellion after that.
Riley's rebellion. You should join Riley's rebellion, dude. But so Optical, you're picking this one up, right?
I am. Yeah. I mean, like I said, the other option is you got two options: not to pick it up or wait 4 years. Right. I feel like it's good enough, right? Like it's not.
I think it's good enough.
I think it's good enough, and there's no guarantee that the next Ahsoka is going to be spot on either. You might be looking at another Wonder Woman. You know, like we have Wonder Woman from BVS, and then Justice League came out. It's like, all right, that's a little better, but it's still not that, right? So now you just wait. Now you just waited 4 years. And I mean, I guess if you are on the fence on this, if you could wait, maybe it'll go on sale. Maybe, you know, if that makes you feel better about not getting this. But for me, if you ask me, like the eyes kind of, if you move it on the side, kind of looks like her depending on how the light hits it.
Right.
To me, like I don't, maybe I'm not even a big Ahsoka fan like PJ. So, you know, but I feel like it's good enough that and I feel the same way with Loki. I'm not even the biggest Loki fan, but there are things where I'd be like, all right, it's not bad. Like, you know, it was like, and I just want to say, it was like, you know, you didn't pay for InArt, right? Kind of like, it was just like, you know, it's like, it's been going on. It's been going on since the beginning of time. And I've seen worse. So it doesn't surprise me. Like with this notion where Keco was saying, it's like, oh, it's going to get better. You can count in one hand what got better, you know, like the Wasp. Absolutely, or Ray or Captain America. I mean that, but there's more. We always talk about is what do you expect? 5 to 10% downgrade, right? Like from the proto to final. That's more likely to happen than it being better. With that being said, this looks like the prototype, so you can't complain. It was like, well, the prototype's so much better. No, it's not. So if you hate a prototype, you'd hate this. But with that being said, you know, it's up to you. You can get the animated version. You can get this. You can wait 4 years or not buy it at all, or buy it.
And if none of these work for you, just do that one, the sideshow version of the cartoon Ahsoka, and you guys can hate your life after that because you'll be like, I wish I had this one. I wish I had the real one. This one sucks. Oh, its head fell off. You know, that's coming.
Its head fell off.
So, I mean,
It got decapitated.
I'm excited about this figure. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I'm probably still gonna get it, but we're gonna see because I'd still stand by my 7.5. You know, I still stand by this is a as figure goes, it looks like a great figure, like maybe like an 8.5.
But did you say this is better than Loki though?
No, I think Loki's better. Yeah, I think Loki's better.
Really?
Yeah, I think Loki head sculpt's better than this. Yeah.
Okay,
and
that's
I don't even think the
biased.
Loki head sculpt is Loki with the helmet on. Loki with the helmet on. Loki with the helmet off. Okay, that's fair. But Loki with the helmet on.
I would say because this has purse, I would give the edge.
That's
to this.
fair. But the
Because
purse.
when
But
you
that,
move
I'm
the
talking about
eyes in a-
likeness.
Yeah, when you
Likeness.
move the eyes in a different direction and you tilt the head, I think you can you almost see Rosario Dawson in there, like in some poses. Not straight on, but yeah.
Right. Yeah, dude, absolutely. So, guys, this is actually low stock apparently on Sideshow. So I'll be interested to see how that shakes out. Yeah, and that's another thing, Keco, which we'll talk about other figures about this. But it's another thing where again we really don't know what's going on. No one knows what's happening with Sideshow. No one knows whether they're being serious, whether they're playing games. So if you want this Ahsoka, you can find it.
We
right
finally hit. I know we're going to talk about it, I think, but we finally hit that moment where the figures that were waitlisted are officially released with that clone trooper. So if we'll find out if that doesn't come back in stock, then we can start having that conversation. But this is officially the tipping point right now. So we're going to find out real soon if these are fake or not.
Well, I do love this pose. However, I would be very careful with those arms like this. So it's not really bent, but those shoulders would concern me. So this figure with those shoulders, I would just say everyone needs to use their best judgment. That's what I would say. So, and you guys are the posers more so than me, Optical and Keco. You probably say the same, right? With the shoulders and such. Are you going to pose this pretty wildly or no?
Well, I'm going to be happy that it's a silicone body, so I want to see what it's going to do.
See?
I feel like it's taken care of the elbows. That was a big issue.
Yeah.
And she's not Spider-Man. You're not going to have to worry about doing something like that. But I don't see any issue with this. And, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, guess so. Well, guys, thank you for your thoughts on that one. Let's address the super chat we got here from Mr. Carlos, a place for collecting. Thank you so much, Carlos. This sculpt is okay, better than Maria Hill and Black Widow. I know Kiko's going to be upset because he loves that Black Widow. That's probably what Carlos is doing there. He's trying to mess with Keco. But it's all good. Thank you so much, Carlos, for that, bro. I do agree. The Maria Hill figure is like super old, though. It's probably not he's probably just trolling, but or messing with us. I shouldn't use the word trolling. But that said, we want to revisit something, and this is not a spoiler. So I forget who posted it in the chat, but apologies. This is not a spoiler. The only spoiler is the N1 is in the episode, which we knew because he's been flying that thing around for a little while now. That said, I want to revisit this topic, and I want to start with Optical because Keco is going to shock the world, I feel like, and Optical might, depending upon what he says here. So, Optical, the N1. Did you watch the Mando episode?
Yes.
Okay. The N1 is in it. It makes an appearance. It's a good appearance. That's all I'll say. What do you think, Optical? We're revisiting this topic now. Will it be made? Because the people need to know.
I guess depending if DeLorean is going to sell out or not. Because that would give them a hint that, hey, they're willing to buy vehicles again. Because back then, these guys were not selling. Like Ecto 1, that was discounted at Big Bad. Even DeLorean. It's why, like, if they can almost guarantee that this would, because if they make this, I'm assuming this will be more expensive than DeLorean. I don't know, maybe same price, right? I don't know. It looks bigger, like it looks like it.
I think more.
Space.
I think more. Yeah.
Let's say they're more because they're. What's that company? Yoast. That's kind of like their. Kind of like trading grounds, like they're kind of like, oh, hey, there's a market for this. So I was like, all right, let's do the DeLorean again, let's do the Batmobile again. I guess depending on those two, I think they already have the mold for this because they are obviously made one. I think it's just pulling the trigger of making it, for the masses. So I guess if DeLorean kind of like, all right, I don't know how many they made first and foremost, but if it sells, then I would see them making this.
Yeah, I think they're going to make it. And I've gone back and forth a little bit because I've said originally that they were going to make it. Then I started to lose hope as time went on. And I was like, all right, I'm starting to lose hope. Maybe Mario was right. Maybe they're not going to make it. Now I'm starting to regain that hope because I don't know if you saw this, Keco and Optical, but I had Yost from Jazz Inc., the owner of Jazz Inc., on the show. And he said, I think there's a 75% chance or higher that Hot Toys is going to make that N1 Starship. And he said, if they do not, which I strongly believe they will, then I will probably make it. So either way, somebody's going to make an N1. It's just a matter of time. That said, Keco, do you want me to share the photo you sent me? Because I don't know if it's going to help make your case or not.
Yeah, let's go ahead. So,
all right,
no, this is not going to be made because let's look at this damn Batwing. Look at that.
Yeah, it's almost hitting the air conditioner.
I was like, this is what you're asking for? Because with a car, you can do something with that a little bit, you know, but with a vehicle that is a ship, essentially, you have to mount it on the wall.
It's covering.
Where are you going? Look, you have to that is a hazard, and you got that damn little cord like running into the ground there. So no, this is not practical. I understand if you have a way to kind of display it properly, but the majority of people do not have the display space because this is what it's going to end up doing. And that is, you are not going to put a piece of art like that on the wall. I mean, it's silly. It's so silly. And I know they said at Jazz Inc., this is the way they want it displayed, but look how big that is. Hot Toys knows that a majority of people are not going to pay $2,500 for the N1 Starfighter as much as they want to. You can't even get people to buy the Mandalorian figure, you know, itself. You think they're going to buy the damn starship to go with it? Everyone's big talk until it actually comes up. You know that all the time. Oh yeah, day one pre-order. Then it comes up and they're like, try to collect the bill, and then nobody foots the bill. And you're like, oh shit, I guess maybe I don't have room for this. The thing that drives me crazy about this Batwing even is that everyone's like, hey, I bought this because I didn't want to miss out. I have nowhere to put it. And that's going to be the same thing with this. You're just going to have a bunch sitting around. This is not happening. I'm sorry. It's not.
Keco, hear me out.
What?
Okay. What if they want to capitalize on the Mando hype here? And this is not, it's going to be expensive. I think this is probably going to be, I don't know if people feel sticker shock at all about this or not. I think this is going to be a $1,300 to $1,500 piece probably. I don't think this is going to be $3,000 or something crazy like that. I think they're going to, not undercut Jazz Inc. because Jazz Inc. hasn't made one, but I think they're going to try to be like, okay, this is friendly, and there's electronics and some it's mostly plastic and so forth. But I mean, it's going to take up a decent amount of space. The Batwing might actually be bigger. I don't know. That's a good
bigger.
Yeah, the Batwing does look a little bit bigger.
Occupies a lot of space.
Yeah, because the N1 is kind of a little more narrow. The Batwing
N1 is supposed to be longer. I think it's 6 feet long. If you do it to scale, which they may drop it a little bit. I mean, I just don't see where you're going to put it or display it. I mean, you're literally going to have to park that bitch in a garage.
I'll hang it on my wall, dude. I'll put it on my wall, dude. Honestly, I think it gets made though, because I think they're going to capitalize on the Mando hype.
Do you remember back in Toys R Us when Episode 1 came out? They had the N1 Starfighter, like it was about that size that they'd hang from the Toys R Us ceilings, because they actually have one at Toy Department in Ohio, because Kenner and everything in that area. They have the prototype sitting in there hanging in the store, and that's kind of what it would be like. But it was all plastic, though. It was just a Hasbro figure type of thing.
So there's a human for scale. That doesn't look too massive.
That's called depth of field. They're faking it. Look.
That's true. You are the photographer here.
He's probably about 4 feet in front of that thing.
Yeah, there's a figure in front of it. So
yeah, and look at the head of Boba Fett. Look at the head of Mando in there. Look how far back it is. Come on now.
Yeah, dude. I guess we'll see.
He just turned into a Black Series figure at that point.
Yeah, he did turn into a 12th scale figure. But Optical. So what do you think? So let's put our odds on this before we move on. Optical. What do you think? What are the odds the N1 gets made?
I would say, because my theory is it depends on the other vehicles. So I would say it's 50-50. I think there's a chance, depending on the price, and they would look at the market. It's like, all right, yeah, why not? That Batwing, somebody bought it, so maybe somebody will buy this.
What if we do this, Keco? Single Songwriter had a great comment. N1 comes apart in 4 pieces, can fit in a box the size of the Batmobile or DeLorean. Some assembly required. What if they do that? Well, I guess you still got to display it one way or another. Keco, what's your overall? I was going to
say, it doesn't matter how it gets to you.
Are you going to say 0-100? Is that it?
Well, I know Carlos went ahead and dropped a bet in the chat. So
do you want to take that bet?
When he says revealed by the end of 2025 or in person's houses or people's houses at 2025, I need to know that, because
I would say revealed.
Damn.
I mean, there's a potential that anything could be revealed in the next 3 years. I mean, damn. I mean, I don't even know if I'll be alive in 3 years.
Yeah, I know, right? You never know. Live life to the fullest, YOLO. But I will say, Keco, I think, by 2025, that's fair. Because it sounds like to me you're saying it's never going to be made. Is that what you're
not
saying?
from Hot Toys. I really do not think Hot Toys is going to make this. That's what I'm getting at.
That's a pretty hefty bet right there. So I think
I know, because I need that damn Ecto 1. I need to figure that. So let me think about that through this show. So
yeah. Well, thank you for the super chat, Carlos.
And he just said announced for pre-order. So they have 2.5 years to announce this thing. I don't know, man. It seems like
because that's fair, because it sounds like he's saying that he's interpreting that you're saying it's never going to be announced or made, period. Which is fair, because it sounds to me like what you're saying.
That's fair. If I think it's not coming, I might as well just take it. So
right, exactly.
So by the so let me just understand this.
What are your odds?
If I take the bet, I think it's 15% that Hot Toys makes this. So if I take that bet and the calendar turns over to 2026 and it's not here, I get an Ecto 1.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? Okay.
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, that's an 85% bet in your book.
Carlos will be dead by that time.
I think you're going to be wrong, though, Keco. I want to caution you not to take that bet, because I think you might be wrong on this one. So but we'll see. But I'm gonna.
I also bet on Tommy Fury instead of Jake Paul. So I'm.
Oh, see, there you go. So you're making them. So you got extra money to spare then. But I would say that overall, I'm going to say Optical 75-25. Yes, in favor of yay. I think it does.
Y'all are bold.
Yeah. Well, Optical's 50-50. He's straddling the fence. So, he's not too bold. I'm the bold one here right now. So, yeah. So, Carlos said, by January 1st, 2026, if there's no N1 announced for PO, then I will send you my Ecto 1 or $2,000.
Oh, whoa. Is he agreeing that the Ecto 1 is now $2,000? Because I'll pay right now.
Yeah, see, they're
$2,000. There you go. So it looks like 2,000 now.
Yeah.
There we go.
Keco, I've been trying, bro. I've been telling Carlos, I'm like, sell Keco the Ecto 1. He won't do it, bro. He won't do it. So.
He just hates me. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've been trying.
I will throw in a Maria Hill figure just for him.
Maria Hill figure. All right, guys. Well, let's move on to the next topic, which I came up with and did not even prepare one right now. Show us the most underrated hot toy in your collection. And I want to pose this question to the chat as well. Guys, post below, what is the most underrated hot toy in your collection right now? Because I want to hear this. I think this is pretty exciting. The figure that maybe a lot of people... you could say they slept on it, or maybe they have not loved it as much as you thought they would. So, Keco, I want to start with you, because you're the only one that did your homework, because I came up with this topic and I got to come up with a damn figure. So, what do you think, Keco, the most underrated hot toy in your collection right now? What is it? Dude, that's a joke. That's a joke. Get out of here.
Yes, it was a joke. It was. Yeah. I had planned that, and I was so glad we even got Maria Hill talk,
yeah, I know, right?
At the beginning of the show. But here it is, officially, my most underrated figure, because I don't understand why people, maybe they're just not a big fan of the gamerverse or things like that, but this is by far one of the coolest figures I have. Underrated for sure. Incredible shelf presence, because we've talked about that, but you need to make sure to have the Sideshow exclusive, because it comes with the Snarling head sculpt, and that's Venom Pool.
Oh, that's a surprise.
Yeah, Venom Pool is awesome. I mean, it is a giant beast, very, very articulated, very, very cool. And I love this Snarling sculpt. Where's my camera? There it is, right there. I mean, I love that sculpt right there. He's absolutely massive and imposing. You can pose him with Deadpool. You can pose him with Cable. You can just kind of have him do his own thing. But, I mean, overall, I mean, this is a really, really sweet figure that I think a lot of people sleep on. And maybe, like I said, he's from the Contest of Champions, so maybe some people just don't vibe with that. But yeah, there you go. The only negative, as you can see, is that because it's got gauntlets, it's a little harder to put the hands back on from time to time. But overall, that's a badass figure.
That's a beefy boy right there.
Yeah, I love that thing. Yeah, he's the size of the Hulk or whatever, and it's naturally. But yeah, go with the Sideshow exclusive if you're going to get it, because this face sculpt is the best. I love it.
That's a pretty good figure, dude.
Venom.
That's a pretty good figure. Guys, Optical, I'm going to give you a chance to answer this one, but I'll do mine so you can think about it a little bit. Because I'm actually about to spoil one of the videos. I'm literally making a video right now, most underrated hot toys in my collection, and I'm about to show you what number one is. But fuck it, here we go. So it's actually this boy.
Nice.
So this, it's not going to focus. There it is. This right here is the best Thanos that has been made.
It is.
By Hot Toys. I'm willing to put that out there. This Thanos right here, Infinity War Thanos, the Thanos who won, The Thanos with an arm that is swappable that Hot Toys has not done since.
Yep.
This Thanos is the Grail. Look at that figure. The only downside is the hand seam right here, but you can't even tell with the shot right now because I've kind of blended it in a little bit. And the shoulder, not exactly ideal. You can get it, modified and corrected and all that, but this Thanos right here, I absolutely love this. This is one of my favorite figures in my collection, and I can't believe that more people did not pick this figure up. When it was about to sell out, everyone started picking it up. And then people like the armored look. To me, this is the iconic Thanos right here. This is the one I love.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. That's a great figure.
Optical. What about you?
I guess this is mine. Killmonger.
Dude, that's on my list. Spoiler.
Yeah, it never really got expensive. You know what I mean? Like, he sold out and people just kind of like, yeah, whatever, man. But the other head sculpt is pretty solid. The body, you can pretty much do whatever, like he's pretty flexible and, you can pose him around. Decent accessories, nice character, but for whatever reason, just never became, like a Grail or whatever, even though he sold out.
And really good head sculpt.
Yeah, the head sculpt was pretty solid. There's 2 head sculpts as well. Yeah, decent accessories, can move him around, but,
Dude, Optical, that figure is amazing. It's one of my favorite figures. It's actually also in my top 5. So spoiled a couple of the top 5s. But I will say that is an excellent choice. And Keco, yours is too, bro. But I've not owned that Venom pool, so I can't.
Yeah, he's cool.
But yeah, but Optical Killmonger, and I know Keco, it sounds like you agree. Killmonger had all the signs of a future Grail, but for some reason did not reach that status, and I'm not sure why. Because he died, he's not in the MCU really anymore. It's an amazing figure, an amazing head sculpt, a great character from a great film. It had all the signs of being something, and it became sort of like a chase figure, but it didn't become like I thought it'd become like Hela. That's what I thought it would be. But
I think a big part of that is because Chadwick's not part of it. People kind of left the Black Panther franchise and they just didn't get excited about it. And they can't get excited about it. They're like, if I have to think about Killmonger and I think about, Michael B. Jordan, I think about, Chadwick, and I just don't want to mesh with that. I think that may, in my opinion, be part of it.
Yeah, could be. But that's a great choice, both of you guys. Yeah. Venom Pool was very slept on, Keco. That's very much a sleeper. Yeah. That figure was very slept on, but it's huge and it's kind of expensive, and most people don't really know what it is. I mean, it's Venom Pool, obviously, but most people don't really know anything about Venom Pool, right? So it's not like
it ticks both my boxes because I love Deadpool and I love Venom. So
that sounds like a win right there. Sounds like a win, guys. Well, let us know in the comments below. I've been reading some of the comments. There's a lot of great ones out there, and yeah, I love the Thanos, trust me. And Optical loves his Killmonger, and Keco loves his Venom Pool. That said, we got to talk about
Maria Hill.
Maria was mentioned as an honorable mention. We got to talk about Hot Toys Paz Vizsla. I'm never sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but Heavy Mando, in other words. That's what he's also known as. He has been announced, and they also titled it The Mandalorian, not Book of Boba Fett, which I found interesting, even though they gave him the shield. I'm guessing the shield will show up in season 3 of Mando. That said, this is a soft reissue, a soft 2.0, if you will, I guess you could say. For the people that happen to miss out on the Heavy Mando the first go around, now you have another opportunity to pick one up at retail. So Optical, I want to ask you, did we need a 2.0? Is this Hot Toys just being like, let's milk this Mando line, baby? Or is this something that's actually necessary?
That is way too soon for a 2.0.
Dude, that's what happened, though. Surprisingly, somehow.
No, Jesus, man. At least wait 3 years.
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, I mean, no, we don't need this because he has a shield now. You changed the name. Can you imagine, like, us? It's still available. We're gonna have a the Armorer 2.0, and then they're gonna package it as all new body. It was like, oh, you mean the double jointed elbows that was supposed to be there to begin with? So I don't know, man. It's not. This is one of those Q where kind of like, ooh, if you're like thinking of, like there's people who's like, who hates Hot Toys, they're reissuing. This is the perfect example of that, because I can still remember this guy just selling out. It feels like not too long ago. Like, I don't know when it sold out. Maybe a year ago, maybe not even. And then people were like, oh, putting it on BSTs for like $350, and then no one's biting it. Like, no one's buying this for like $350. Then eventually it came down to like MSRP. It never went down MSRP. It's kind of like there. But now it's gonna go down because now they're gonna be like, well, this one has a better stand and it has a shield. It's like it's a shield. But hey, I don't blame them if they wait for this and not get the one from BST, because why would you, right? Like, I mean, this is
But Optical, now it's next to an Apple. So it's different.
that is true.
It's
so
a 2.0.
A
maybe
rendered
some
Apple,
weight.
by the way.
Maybe he lose some weight, because he got next to an Apple. But yeah, I know this is kind of like, I mean, I get the other Iron Mans. At least they waited 5 years, 3 years, maybe. I don't know. This just feels way too soon. Like just you just gave fuel to those who are saying that Hot Toys does not have a value anymore. This is like the perfect example for that. But yeah.
Right. Yeah, that totally is understandable. Well, Keco, what do you think? Do we need a Paz Vizsla 2.0? Because for me, I was never really super interested in Heavy Mando to begin with. I do like the cool look of the character, but I guess I need a little bit more development for me to really get into him. What do you think, Keco? How do you feel about this 2.0?
Very sad that this was something that actually came to fruition. I remember I was at Star Wars Celebration and they set up the little displays for the Sideshow Hot Toys booth. And this was sitting there with that cheap little plastic circle on his hand. And I was like, it's got to be for display purposes. No way they're actually going to put that into production, because just like Optical said, is that this was one of the first figures that went waitlist before it officially shipped. That was the first one that in recent memory that had done that. And everyone started to panic and then overbuy. And I think he was going for like $450 or something like that right when it released. But then people was like, I don't need that play that much for this figure. He's also not, a critical piece of my collection. No big deal. And like you said, just like 3 weeks ago on Buy Sell Trades, people were listing for around $350. No one's moving on it. So what is he listed for now? 300 plus tax and shipping. So what, 350 again? So everyone's like, oh, this is great for collectors that missed out. What, 18 months ago? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me.
This time, but
285. Yeah. So put the tax in and shipping, probably 330 essentially when it's sitting in your front door. So it's not a good look when, like people have been saying, and I know we're going to talk about the potential of depreciating assets and maintaining value and things like that. For one, don't get into this because you think you're going to make some money and flip it, because immediately a lot of people bought these to try to flip them because, oh, Heavy Mando, everyone wants that one. I'm going to buy 4 of them and we'll see what happens. And now you have 4 of them sitting in your attic because no one wants them. And now I don't know. The thing that I remember Riley actually mentioned this in his little reveal video is that little banner that says scenes inspired by the Book of Boba Fett from The Mandalorian. Yep. So I feel like it's that banner that's going to give the next trajectory for different releases and such. So are we going to get Scarlet Witch as seen in Multiverse of Man, all those different type of things? The new banner is what I'm more concerned about as opposed to the figure itself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm mostly with you guys. I don't know that we did. At the end of the day, look, if people want this figure, I'm happy that it's being made. It's the same thing I've said, with Reva and other characters where I'm like, I'm surprised Reva was made. I didn't really like Reva, but I'm happy she was made for the people that do want Reva. So at the end of the day, if they put it into production, I'm happy for the people getting what they want. So, and this Paz Vizsla, I do think people want it. People want always Mandalorian's hot, and it's going to be until it stops, it seems like. So, this is like a soft reissue, a 2.0, if you will. And, for the people that want it, I'm happy for you guys. Do I think we needed it? No, probably not. I probably would have rather seen another character made or something else, but that's it. Here we are and we got it. So I'm happy for the people that are getting it. So guess we'll see.
I guess they put all their R&D into this figure because they're trying to develop that N1 potentially, right?
Dude, that's an interesting theory, Keco, about that. The droids. Carlos was talking to me about that. The droids that they made.
I forgot about those droids.
Yeah. So the pit droids. Why make the pit droids if you're not going to make the N1? So
because it's box filler.
That's true. That's
it.
But let me have this theory. Let me have this. No, but anyway, so we got a super chat. Carlos, thank you so much, bro. He said, Optical, let me see your nips.
Well, please buy me a dinner first. Jesus.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. Like,
or subscribe to my OnlyFans.
There's a thing called foreplay, Carlos.
Jeez,
and he's even put nips in the chat. So thank you so much, Carlos. But no nips on this channel, unfortunately. That's for another website. That said, guys, so we're going to move on to our next topic. We got something that's very interesting, something that's close to home for me. It's the Loki. I like to call it low stock Loki. Are we burdened with glorious FOMO? Because Loki.
There. Well done.
Thank you, bro. I put a lot of thought in it. It took me like 2 minutes. So yeah, a lot of effort. Because I'll zoom in for the people here. Maybe they won't be able to see this as well. Here's Loki's close-up. We have a low stock warning on TVA Loki on Sideshow. And again, I know we've talked about these Sideshow topics because I think they're interesting, because we really do not know. We don't know what Sideshow is thinking. We don't know what they're doing. It's inconsistent by the day. We don't know whether this is going to come back in stock, whether it's going to disappear tomorrow. Peacemaker is still not come back in stock. Some of the others do come back in stock, like Green Goblin released briefly, and then some others. So we really don't know right now. That said, I think it's important to keep people informed so you're aware that this could go to waitlist, but we just don't know. You're at least aware what the stock options could be, what Sideshow is trying to tell us. That's at Optical. What do you think? Is this Loki something you're going to pick up? Should people try to pre-order this if they want this? Because maybe this was a low PO. I don't know, because it's not the iconic Loki.
I mean, I would believe that it's low stock if they only made 2, because I know you pre-ordered 1, so now there's only
Yeah, it's true.
I
didn't, but I probably should have.
I mean, the more traditional Loki is in stock right now. The one that everyone's Loki is. I only know a handful of people who likes Loki that much. That would buy multiple Lokis. So it's if the other one doesn't sell out, what makes this is one of those things where you're gonna look back at your life. It's like, man, I wish I would have pre-ordered that Loki in a shirt, in a tie. It's like no one ever is gonna say that. Just like, man, I missed the boat. This is kind of like
missed the boat.
This is kind of like you're kind of like with that Paz Vizsla, where you kind of be like, I mean, they could do it, but you're gonna be like, come on, Hot Toys, that's kind of low even for you. Come on, man. It was.
Did you intentionally call him Paz Vizsla?
Paz Vizsla.
Whatever his name is.
So that was genius.
Oh, kind of like this is kind of like, come on, Sideshow, really? This Loki? I mean, at least make it a little bit more, I don't know, believable. Make it Vader. It's like, this Vader is low stock.
This Vader's low stock.
It's like,
Cad Bane is low stock.
It's Loki, the guy in a shirt. I mean, no. First and foremost, I wouldn't suggest anyone to pre-order this, even if it's not low stock. Just buy the Loki, and you're good to go.
It has Miss Minutes though, Optical.
And second, if
Miss Minutes goes hard.
If this is really gonna sell out, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Kind of like with so many options of Hot Toys right there, like at your disposal. If you think Loki in a shirt is gonna sell out, and you are, oh my god, I need to pre-order this. Yeah, I don't know, but no, I don't buy it. I think this is gonna be in seconds. I think this is gonna be at the next Spectacular, 2 Spectaculars from now.
Damn.
No, not this one.
Yeah, well, Optical, maybe, bro, it's a low stock because not that many people ordered it. And Sideshow was like, we're not carrying too many of these. No one wants this thing. So I think, the head sculpt looks pretty good. It's a cool Loki. To me, though, Optical, it's clearly not the iconic Loki by any stretch. I mean, it's just not. Like, this is a business casual Loki, like I saw Doc Smizzle said. That's what he is. So I love the show, though. I thought it was great. So it just depends how much you like the show. But Keco, are you burdened with glorious FOMO on this one? Because what do you think about this low stock Loki here?
Ah, shit. Here we go again. Basically, it's that meme.
Yeah.
So I've said the same thing every single week, so I got to change up something that I say. So here's my new theory, I guess, with these things. So, okay, let's say it goes low stock.
You said,
and then it goes to,
that's amazing.
I know. And then it goes. We've had Paz Vizsla and Loki. I like that. So it'll go low stock, and then it goes almost gone, and then it goes sold out. Join waitlist. Okay, so maybe this is what they're doing essentially. They have a big secret batch that's coming in once it releases, and then essentially joining the waitlist is like essentially adding to cart, but they're not calling it that. All right. So as soon as it goes out of stock, you join that waitlist, and once that second pallet comes in, boom, hey, your waitlist converted. You have an opportunity to purchase this figure. Please, you have 24 hours to do so. Oh shit, my waitlist converted. Here we go. Maybe that's what they're doing, because it's worked for how many people in this damn chat, because they're like, oh man, I can't miss. But as we said at the beginning of the show, the clones are going to tell the story, because if those never come into Sideshow to be available, then I'll start taking this serious. But we're at that tipping point right now, because that was the first one essentially to go waitlist, almost gone, sold out, waitlist, jab, whatever. So now that they're officially released, Riley's even got his. So if these show up at Sideshow or these wait lists start magically converting all of a sudden, then we'll know. But I feel like we're going to get an answer to this really, really soon. But if you like Loki, then yes, you probably should, just because let's secure the bag. Why not? Just like last week, I got the Grand Inquisitor and I got Reva just in case. But I've had those before. That was during my list where I like, look at me, I'm buying all these right now just in case. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I guess
is that a little bit different from last week?
No, I mean, I think so. You kept it fresh. So, you mixing it up on the people. So I would say Keco at this point. I'm not going to pre-order this because I'm with the Optical and you on this one. I think I'm going to wait and see how this shakes out. Because I do want this Loki. And even as a Loki super fan, this is not the Loki where I'm like, I must have this day one. I'm not looking at this and thinking, yeah, I need to have it. This is not Avengers Endgame Loki. This is a little bit different. This is not the iconic Loki, like I mentioned. And the problem is, as good as this head sculpt is, when you put it on your shelf and when you put it next to your Marvel figures, all the Marvel figures are so colorful and interesting and cool, and then you just have Loki in a suit, and they
might say, "Is that Tom Hiddleston from that King Kong movie with Brie Larson?"
They might say that. They might say that. That's a deep cut right there. That's a deep cut.
Yeah, Skull Island, baby.
But it's a good looking figure, and I really like the show, so I'll probably end up getting. I'm actually, honestly, I really want the Sylvie. The Sylvie I think is really cool because she actually has like a Loki suit.
The Sylvie does look awesome.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to see. But guys, let us know. I posted a poll. It's pretty split whether people are interested in the TVA Loki. So I'm interested to see the final results on that one. Let us know. That said, we have a super chat before we address our next topic. Let's see here. McCoy Culture, Josh McCoy. Good to see you, Josh. Josh is awesome, by the way. Check out his channel. Carlos is wrong. Endgame Loki is great. Optical, you like it too, don't you?
I like it.
Yeah. Keco, you like it. Endgame Loki. Right? Yeah.
I personally like the Ragnarok version, but that's just me.
Okay. Well, that's also an acceptable answer, but I would say Endgame Loki is the GOAT in my opinion. But Optical, I'm glad you liked it, bro. The head sculpt's not perfect, but with the helmet on, dude.
I don't like how the helmet attaches though.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it feels like I'm scratching his like face all the time.
Right. That's why when you put the helmet on. Yeah, you put the helmet on and leave it and just say, okay, it is what it is. I'm not taking this helmet off. If it's scratched, so be it. But you just got to be careful with it. Thank you so much, Josh, by the way. And we also got a super chat. Carlos, Keco, everyone is wearing black. Come on, dude. Yeah, mine's actually blue, but it's fine. Keco's the traffic cone for today. He's directing traffic, if you will. So, yeah, Keco, as always, bro. As always. So, guys, we got a few more topics on the docket this evening. That said, Hot Toys Attack of the Clone Trooper has been released. And, Keco, I know you referenced this about whether this will come into stock on Sideshow at all. That said, the Clone Trooper has been released, and I'll start with Keco on this one first because I want to get that before I jump to Optical. So, Keco, is this a worthy release for collectors? Because it's been low stock / wait list for forever now, and is this something that people are going to care about? You think? What do you think?
It's very hard to say because there was at one point where I had 5 or 4 501st troopers. And I was like, too many. They're all the same. I'm only doing the name clones because there's no need for me to army build these things. I just don't got the space for it, whatever. But I know people love to army build. And if you're going to army build, this is the one to do it with because it's about as basic as you possibly can get. It's essentially a stormtrooper that's a clone. I mean, it's the shiny. It's the phase 1, phase 2 version. And I started thinking, I'm like, okay, so is there any chance that people could really just want these because it's the Clone Wars love? Because you don't see people like all the stormtroopers selling out or anything like that, but people love their damn clones for some odd reason. Maybe it's just because that's the era that grew up with the Clone Wars cartoon and all that. I don't know. They have a great body on the figure. The posability is absolutely fantastic. You get phase 1, phase 2 helmet. But I think the key to this is that if you're a customizer, there is your blank canvas to do whatever you want. And I know that this community loves to do that. They love to make their own. It's a blank, art project, essentially. It's a little expensive just to dick around with and be like, I'm going to throw some paint on it and make my own clone. Hire a professional to do so. Don't go to Michael's or Joanne Fabric and hope for the best. But overall, I just have a hard time thinking that this generic clone is sold out or will be sold out anytime soon. It's literally just, it's the Attack of the Clone 20th anniversary. That's cool art packaging and such, but really? I mean, I just don't believe it. I just can't. I can't get on board. But we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, we will. And this clone trooper, like you said, here's the wait list. Expected to ship this month. You know, he's on the wait list. It's crazy we're in March already. It just feels so odd.
That's really depressing.
I know. The year has gone by so fast. We're in Q1 already, almost out of Q1 at this point. So pretty crazy. Optical, what do you think? Is this a worthy release? I know you and I played a lot of Battlefront together, so maybe this could be something based on that. What do you think? I mean, do you have any interest in this figure at all?
I do. Worthy release, sure. You know, it looks good. It looks nice. Am I going to pay MSRP for that? No. If I have to look at the trajectory of troopers,
join the waitlist, you're going to miss it.
That is true.
Join the wait. That's what Sancho thinks.
What am I going to do without a clone trooper?
You'll probably just fade away.
Yeah. Just, but this is like Keco said, this is the tipping point. If this goes in stock, how can you be waitlist and pre-order and then goes in stock? It's like, oh, I just found a few boxes in the back. Like a lot.
Which they do sometimes. Yeah.
Oops, we forgot. I've had this before. They got me so many times in the past. This is nothing new for those who are new, to collecting. They will put in wait lists and then they'll magically go back in stock for a long time. Happened with Star-Lord. The first Star-Lord happened with Batman before the BVS. So this is not nothing magical. The only question back then is that Star-Lord and BVS never got a discount. So it didn't really matter if you got it on waitlist or you bought it while in stock. There's no, what do you call this? Nothing. In here, it might go on sale. Am I lagging? Or
no, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Yeah. I was looking at something and I was like, this is confusing me, but keep going. Yeah.
This might go on sale like the other troopers. So that is essentially what you are risking here. Because if you've seen, you can get like the transport trooper for like $175 on some retailers that are not in Hong Kong. Not in Hong Kong. You can get it for $175. It's a roll of the dice, I would say. If you are not too invested in here, I would say you can wait. But if you are, I don't want to be the reason. It's like, now I missed out because you're a bozo. You told me not to do it. It was like, no, go ahead. Don't risk it. I'm not too invested in it. If you ask me, I personally think this would hit. This is one of those things where we would see in Spectacular again. But I could
2.0, baby.
Could be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Well, guys, for me, it's not as much interest to me, but I do know a lot of people love their troopers. Hot Toys makes them because they are cheap to produce, and people buy multiples of them, and sometimes several of them. They buy 5, 6, 7, 8 of them and put them in one cool looking display, and they do look pretty cool when you have them all lined up in unison like that. For me, not as much of an impactful release for me, but, hey, for those who want him, that's pretty cool. We did get a super chat from Riley, so I do want to address that. Riley, thanks so much, bro. Riley reviewed this figure, so guys, go check out that review on Riley Reviews channel. This is worthy. 0 problems with this fig. 10 out of 10 release for clone fans. No more annoying ratcheted joints. Hey, I trust Riley. If Riley's going to say that the joints are great and his figure's great, I saw his photos with the packaging and stuff. It had the anniversary packaging. It looked pretty cool. I love that anniversary packaging. You guys have had that, haven't you?
Yeah, the 40th.
Like the Darth Vader and Lando and stuff like that. Yeah, that's a really cool packaging. So, but thank you, Riley.
But he also thinks No Way Home is a 10 out of 10 movie. So
yeah, what did you say, Keco? You said it was a cupcake movie or something?
Cotton candy film.
Cotton candy film. Yeah, I was close. It was a different type of sweet, but I was in the ballpark. But
all
thank
sugar,
you so much,
no substance.
Yeah, right. And see, Riley, send in another question, Riley. We'll talk about that. So thank you guys so much for your thoughts on the Clone Trooper. We got a few more topics to get through here. So this, I think, is going to be the fun topic, and I want to ask the panel and, of course, the chat this. I'll post a poll for everyone to engage with, and so we can go back and forth on this one. So should we view Hot Toys as a collectible or a depreciating asset? And kind of the way I'm phrasing this question is this. There's 2 ways of looking at it. The first being a depreciating asset in terms of its value, because nowadays, it's a little bit rare. It does happen that Hot Toys either maintain their value or go up in value. Yes, it can happen over time. It can happen over years, 4 or 5 years or whatever. But nowadays, with the influx of IPs and figures and manufacturers and overproduction from time to time, that's changing a bit, right? So, and now we also have to factor in things like flaking pleather or joints falling apart or bodies, ankles getting loose, depreciating in that sense. So, Optical, I want to start with you. How should we look at these Hot Toys? I mean, at the end of the day, they're collectibles and they're enjoyment and fun, but are they more depreciating assets like a car like over time they're going to lessen in value and worsen and degrade, or should they be viewed as something that is sort of like a fun, but also can help maintain and maybe go up in value? How do you view that nowadays?
If you asked me 5 years ago, the answer would be different. But you're
Right.
asking me now, so it's a depreciating asset now. And it's funny because a lot of people, especially the old heads, and this is what we tend to do. Like we think it's going back to the good old days.
Right.
Yeah, like NBA, it's going to be physical again. It never was. It's 20 years. It's never going to be physical again. They're not going to have that hard fouls anymore. NFL is not going back. The WWE, for those who watches wrestling, it's not going to be back to the Attitude Era. No, it's not. Like, we're in a different world now. So is Hot Toys. If y'all think that, hey, this is just a phase, I don't think it is. Like, okay, maybe we'll see with that clone trooper, but a lot of things have changed since 2015. Not just Hot Toys, but the amount of stuff that we buy. There was no competition back then. Now there is. So the pleather has always been there, right? Like the pleather has always been peeling. Rubbers are deteriorating, but they maintain their value. Now figures are actually getting better in quality, but the price is going down. I think it's just way too much in there. It's just, there's just a lot of stuff, not just Hot Toys. And this happens all over, like statues, other collectibles. Even Regal Robot is getting a hit, like in the secondary market.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just too much stuff nowadays. And this is not exclusive to Hot Toys. And this is why you have to, kind of, I guess, be smart with your purchase. Again, buy what you want, right? Like, but if you are looking at this as an asset, we're going to be like, this is not like before. Even back then, those who bought the original, the OG Mando, the one who bought 3 or 4, I'm going to keep it sealed because this is going to be rare. Yeah, that didn't turn out well. And that was like 2-3 years ago, right? That OG Mando, they bought a bunch of those, kept it. Even that
scrambled eggs all over their face.
Yeah, like, what is this? Like, I think nowadays the only one that we've seen is that Arena Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And even at that, it was a small batch. You didn't really have the chance to like stockpile on it. And even if you did, I don't know how much profit you'll make out of it. Nowadays, if you do that, it's more of a risk than a smart move because you never know if they're going to reissue it in a year, so it was like, or a 2.0 them in a year. So as far as this question, yeah, I mean, nowadays it's more of a depreciating asset. It's very rare now. Like back then we were like, oh, it's a grail. Oh, the grail is a personal touch, your attachment. No, it's kind of like a lot of things, the value, how rare it is. How many times can you say that on a figure that has been released in the past 3 years? I think Hella was released 4 years ago. Yeah. Like very rare now. Like in the past 3 years, you can't say that on any figure. You can count it maybe with 2 hands, less than 10 that's sold out. I don't know. The 501st sold out, but it's still not $400 out in the market, because there's too many troopers. If you miss out on the 501st, you'll be like, all right, I'll just buy the random trooper and be happy with it. It's not before it was the character. Now there's just too many stuff that can kind of fill the void if you're missing one. It'll be like, not only that, you miss Hella, there's a third party. There's like this juice box girl or whatever.
Juice girl, yeah.
Juice girl.
Juice box girl.
Like there's so many competition now. There's so many stores that carries Hot Toys. So you're not exclusive to Sideshow anymore. Oh, I missed out on Loki. It's on waitlist. Let me go at, X, Y, and Z store. So there's just a lot of stuff. So when you buy one, be prepared that if you happen to sell that again, be prepared to take a loss. So
right. And the one thing I would say, Optical, the reason I'm bringing up this eBay listings is because if you're looking at this, almost every listing, the other a few exceptions, are selling the figure below retail. And then if you factor in that the eBay seller has to then take a 13% hit plus shipping on what they're selling it for. So again, this is not to say it's good or bad. I'm just addressing what the situation is. Like, it's not a matter of whether this is good value that's a depreciating asset or it's good that it's not. I'm not taking a stance one way or another. What I am saying though is that this is the situation we are in. This is just what the collectible market is. I don't think this is just Hot Toys either. I think statues, this is the case for most of them. I think this is it could be the case with in-art figures, depending upon how limited they are and how much expendable income people have. I think we might have to start viewing these as maybe depreciating assets because they're enjoyment and they're fun. but so is everything that you buy that's fun, really. It is probably a depreciating asset as well. So can't use it like a car, but you can enjoy it and have fun with it. And at the end of the day, it's more about fun, but I think, we need to understand kind of what it is at the end of the day. Keco, I want to hear your hot take, your hot stance on this one. What do you think? Should we view Hot Toys as a collectible or a depreciating asset? Where are you at?
100% that it is a collectible because
Nice,
it's not an asset. No, listen, because it's not any asset. You collect it because you want to enjoy it. You collect things. To me, it's no different than, I bought, the Hogwarts video game. That's something I purchased to enjoy. That's it. I didn't purchase the video game to be like, oh, I hope it maintains its value. When I take it to GameStop, I hope I'm going to be able to get back what I got into it. I understand the idea of collectible. People like to collect things that have value. I get that. But for me, I have quite a few figures, but there's nothing in there to where I was like, ooh, I bought this because I can't wait to see the value go up and down on it. Yeah, I track that because I think it's important to kind of, stay aware of those things, but they're not assets at all, because an asset is something that you use to, essentially make a move, up or down. Essentially, me as my collectible is something that I want to collect to enjoy. Remember, it was The Rock that said in Ballers, if it flies, floats, or fucks, never buy a depreciating asset. That's what he said. And he says, lease a car as opposed to buying it because it's a depreciating asset. Buy a home because it's an appreciating asset. When it comes to any of this stuff, they're nice to haves. And what you had talked about with the disposable income, that's what it comes down to right now, is that if you're looking to say, okay, let me diversify my portfolio, I'm going to put my, extra money in plastic. What a dumbass move if that's going to be your call, essentially. But there's still people that love to do that, but I just don't get it. Sure, good luck out there, but people are really valuing what's important to them right now. I know several people are saying, I just would rather get out of this collecting circle type of thing because I can't keep up. It's not enjoyable to me. It stresses me out. I want to make memories with my family. That's what I want to do. I'm leaving the hobby. And they do that, and respect to them for doing that, because they're like, okay, if I only have X amount of money coming in, I got to pay my bills. I got to pay the most important things in my life, take care of the people that are important to me. And if I have a little bit extra money right now, I'm not putting it into some silicone doll. I'm going to go put it into, a nice dinner or a vacation or something. That's what people are putting it into. And that's why people are just unloading these things, because no one wants them. They're like, I don't need this. So the only people that are buying them are collectors. So if you're looking to buy them as investments or anything like that, I think you are missing the point. And that's why it's a place for collecting, not a place for, investments. That's what it's called. You collect things investing in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to go figure out ways to diversify your thing, look into precious metals, look into fine art, things like that. Not this, essentially. So in a nutshell, put your money where your mouth is, and this isn't it.
Yeah. That's understandable. I'm with you guys. I think we have to view it that way. And, over time, the value hasn't seemed to really go up. And over time, the figure quality is going to go down inevitably, especially if it has pleather, joints, whatever. Those are going to get weaker over time, inevitably. So, yeah, I mean, it just is what it is. So you buy it for enjoyment. And at the end of the day, you got to go with that. So you got to buy this because you love it. And I think that's really why we're looking at buying these things. So that's what I believe anyway. Everyone can do something different, but that's just what I believe. So yeah, anyway, great discussion on that one, guys. And I think really we might even have a shorter show, because really, I mean, maybe if I come up with something else, I have one more topic for you guys. And this came up because I was just thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? We're only an hour in and we're almost done the topics, because you guys have breezed through these like the professionals that you are. I want to ask you your stance on customizing Hot Toys. And I want to bring this up. This is my boy Niche Collectibles. Great photographer, guys. Go check him out. Give him a follow on YouTube and Instagram. Great job that he does. That said, I want to ask you guys what your stance on customizing Hot Toys is, because a lot of people, the most recent example that we're seeing this from is this Chrome Mando. This Chrome Mando, a lot of people are taking it and de-weathering it. And it looks pretty damn great when you de-weather it. However, with me, I like how it looks weathered. I'm probably going to leave mine that way. I don't really customize my figures that frequently, but I want to ask you guys, as collectors that have been in this for a while, and I'll ask the chat as well, I'll post a poll. Optical, how do you feel about this? What's your stance on customizing Hot Toys? Do you ever do it, or do you like keeping them, intact in terms of their retail form?
I done a few. I don't recommend it if you're not handy enough, because you could mess it up, So
Like me.
and it's difficult, right? Like we're speaking in a space where we have like 40-50 Hot Toys, where if you mess it up, you can probably buy another one. But if somebody's listening now who can only afford one or two a year and you mess it up, that's pretty significant, right? And I think that this goes to what we were talking about just in the beginning, where the value, because not everyone can buy. Like, it's easy for us to say, oh, just enjoy it. To some people, this is their grail. Like, buying a $200 figure is their achievement. And I don't want them to, do this, for example, and then ruin it. And they'll be like, oh, shoot. Like, just just keep in mind, there's it. And to some people, if you customize it and you try to sell it, there's some people who does not like customize Hot Toys. They want it stock, they want the box, they want the brown shipper for whatever reason. So, but hey, if you could do it, if you're good enough, why not? If it'll improve the figure, just know that there's some risk to it. That if you're willing to take that, maybe you won't be able to sell it again. Then hey, do whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, these are toys that you need to play around with, and if that makes you, hey, that's an achievement. That's going to be one of one, because you're the only one who has that. So if you want to do that, go ahead. If you are just a regular collector and you don't know what you're doing, you go to YouTube and you saw this paint, and then all of a sudden, instead of making it clean like this, it became the quarter scale Mando. That's on you. So hey, do it at your own risk.
Yeah, that's something to think about. And Optical, you're exactly right. And I've noticed that this happens with statues, this happens with figures. If you sell something that is customized, people are like, because it makes the buying experience that much more difficult, because then they have to go and discern whether the value is there now. If it's a retail figure and everything is normal, it's very easy. You could look at the secondary market, or you could look at the retail value. But when something's customized, then they have to figure out, well, is it worth it? It's like a million questions that pop up in their head. And then half the time they'll just be like, it's not worth all the trouble. I'll buy a retail one. So this is why, if you're going to customize it, you have to be pretty confident that this is the route that you want to keep it for an extended period of time. So I think it looks great, but with this, I'm going to keep mine weathered just because I like how it looks weathered, but I understand if it's a little more accurate this way. Keco, what's your stance on customizing figures? Because I know everyone does it a little bit differently.
I am not talented enough to be able to pull this off.
Okay.
When I was like 13, I suppose, I got a Darth Vader helmet, essentially. And I'm like, it's too glossy. And so I went and found myself a like silver Sharpie and like put like accent marks on, like, it kind of give it like the illusion of different like lights hitting it type of thing. It looked like ass. And I'm like, there is no chance that this is something I ever want to try to do. And here's the thing. I was good at art when I was in school. I actually have a creative type job myself, but this is not me, because you know why? My moneymaker is in my mind. I don't have skill with my hands. I do not. And like, I can't hang. You look at all these. I can't hang these pictures. They're all crooked. Every single one of those DTOFs are crooked. I can barely pose a figure. I can barely put gas in my car. It's very, very challenging. So I am not going to take a risk on customizing anything. Optical said it perfectly. If you do not have the skill set to do that, pay somebody that does have the skill set to do that. These are way too costly. We're not talking about investments. They're too costly to mess up, essentially. Now, going back to the one about, well, I think it's okay if you just want to do like take the weathering off, take these mineral spirits and do that, because you're not really doing that much. I'm not putting a chemical on my figure. I'm sorry. Everyone's like, oh, it looks so much better. Well, we don't know how that's going to look in 8 months, because Hot Toys did not design design this for you to take all their varnish off, essentially. It's probably going to be fine, but who knows? What if in 8 months, all these people that put the mineral spirits on there because something in their chrome paint or plastic, it starts chipping and peeling, and everyone's like, oh no, I need the weather piece back now. It's too risky for me. I can't do it. I applaud the people that can do it. Like, some people are incredible at it, and I'm like, this is wild. I think of D-Wound Customs, who's incredible, 16J, who is incredible, because that's their art form, and they're incredible at that. But I will not be doing it. Do I own any custom pieces? No, because I do not have the desire to do so. So it's a dangerous game that I'm not willing to get into.
Yeah, and I'm with you, Keco, because I feel like the second that I would go to customize a figure, I'd be like, "Oh, I broke it. I snapped the leg. I snapped the wrist peg, or did something." Right? It just.
I mean, think
And I'm
about
even.
how antsy we get when we have
Yeah.
like a belt break or something like that,
Oh, dude, it stresses me out.
something snap. "Ah!" Okay, so this is a true story. My Blitzway Ghostbusters, one of the little cables on the back of the pack popped off or whatever, and I almost lost my mind when I was unboxing it. Whenever I got those, and I was like, "Ah!" And so I had to super glue that bitch back on there, and that's the most customized I'm going to do. Is I'm going to customize by adding a piece back on with some super glue. After that,
Right.
no, that's too stressful.
That's about as deep as it gets. So, Optical, have you ever had any experience like that where you've tried to customize a figure and broken something?
I'm not even customizing them. I'm just opening them up. And I was like, God damn it.
God damn it, I broke the arm.
It's like goddamn vision, man. I was like,
I know, dude. And that's why you said with the Loki helmet, when you put it on, you're like, you got to be really careful. You don't want to snap this thing in half. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but that's the thing, bro.
I did my job with the Mark V. With my Mark V suit up, that was the most customization I've done, and I love that figure. But that was just like putting a puzzle together at that point. So,
Keco, when I get to your house, bro, I'm
gonna
look at it and just from a distance and not
touch it. You'll appreciate
bro,
it.
I'm not touching the Mark V, bro. I'm not touching.
It's good.
That thing's gonna break in my hand. So I don't want that on my conscience, because then you'll just kick me out and I have to find a place to stay for 3 days. So, and yeah, it's not going to happen. So, but guys, let us know in the chat whether you customize your figures at all. I think this Mando, if you do de-weather it, a lot of people plan to. I think it's a pretty divided thing. It looks great though. I mean, I can't deny it looks great. I like mine weathered. I'm glad Nick got what he wanted. Nish Collectibles. So check him out. And yeah, guys, let us know whether you customize figures. That said, guys, we breezed through the topics this evening. We did it in an hour and 10 minutes. So thank you so much to all of you for joining this fine evening and in this chat. I know, dude, you guys were super efficient. We did like 8 or 9 topics, I think, in like, 70 minutes. So we did pretty, and that includes the chat that we went over. But Optical, thank you so much for joining, bro. Good to have you back. What's coming up on your channel? I know you did a review of what was the review I saw? I saw the Batman poster that I saw, and you did some other stuff, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I got Loki coming up soon.
Yeah.
Boba and the Throne. I don't know why I bought those things, but
well, Loki was essential.
I was just like lonely. I was just like, I just buy these guys whenever. Oh fuck, but yeah, those two, and then I think I'm gonna stream with PJ sometime. I don't know when. I don't know if that's tonight. So maybe, but yeah, something like that. But yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man. Well, happy to have you. And yeah, man, guys, go check out Optical 20. I'll be reviewing a horse soon, like you. So I'm gonna be a horse reviewer soon. That one I got from Big Bad. So I'm excited about that. And I got Shang-Chi in today. So I need to review that one. So very excited about that one. Anyway, Mr. Keco Collects, thank you so much for joining as always, bro. What's coming up on the YouTube channel? I know you're gonna hit 5,300 soon.
Yes. Well, if you just missed it, 1 hour and 11 minutes in, Drago just barked. You'll probably hear him again. There he is.
There
Perfect.
he is. Let's go.
There he is. Yeah, 111. But no, I said that I will release my next video at 5,300 because I took a little break, honestly. Ever since the I think the InArt Joker promotional video was the last one I did. But we do have things. We're about to get the wheels going again, everybody. I haven't left, but I haven't really needed to because I got so many views on the I got 47,000 on the collection tour. I got 21,000 on the displays for dummies recently that I'd put out. I didn't even realize that because I started seeing people comment on it. I'm like, what's going on here? And I went back there like 20,000 plus. I'm like, okay, cool. So if you enjoy the content, please go over there and support it if you haven't done so already. More content is on its way out, but please head over to Instagram as well. We have some reels coming up on Ahsoka that's coming. Make sure to check that out, as well as some photography. And if you want to see a Mandalorian, in a DeLorean, I do have a picture on there about that. So check that out. So lots of good stuff.
That sounds great. That's a lot of Lorians. I like it. So yeah, that sounds great. So guys, check out Keco Collects. A lot of great content there, and Optical 20, of course. And of course, there'll be other content on this channel coming up. We have a stream Sunday, Collectors Mingle at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. That'll be the new time, even after Last of Us, just to keep us at a reasonable time. That said, I'm doing a video top 5 underrated Hot Toys in my collection, so I'll be posting that sometime soon. I recorded the voiceover, just got to film the footage. So I just spoiled one of them, 2 of them really, but you guys will know there'll be more coming in the near future. And then of course, other videos, clips, all that good stuff, collection reactions, more interviews, stuff along those lines. That said, guys, thank you so much for joining us this Friday evening. Enjoy the rest of your fine Friday and good weekend. That said, guys, peace out. Bye.